Well, all right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Happy and Moon. This game taking place here on Twisted Meadows. Let's go ahead and try and, get this game underway here. Moon spawning as the yellow night elf at what I'll call the, 4 o'clock position. Meanwhile, off on the other side of the map, we have Happy spawning as the blue undead. Undead versus Night Elf in a 1v1 matchup. Twisted Meadows, a map with plenty of spawning or four spawning locations. I believe it is forced cross spawns, but more importantly here, a map with a lot of gold mines and a lot of places to expand. This map is one of the larger maps in the map pool, so I'm expecting a lot more frontline army. In maps that are smaller or with very little real estate, with those narrow passageways, those melee units just tend to clog up on themselves just a bit more. On a map like Twisted Meadows, you have access to this giant center location here where it just seems like you're able to move your units across the map very efficiently and effectively. All on the wings of the map, you're looking at a bunch of, expansion locations, and then you still have these island locations that are off on the side. The island locations do need a Goblin Zeppelin in order to get there, but they drop very, very useful items. We'll see if those come into play. They don't always come into play, as it does take a Goblin Zeppelin to get there. And by the time you're able to get to those islands in the late game, you often have better places to be. It's almost like a little bit of a surprise if you're able to establish an island expansion. Now, of some changes from version 1.1 to the classic is that they've kind of separated these creep camps here. So there is more of a green creep camp here on both sides, 5-3-1, and then a 3-3-1 off into the center. You're able to clear out that closer creep camp if you want to first. No one is going after those creep camps. Demon Hunter going straight after the Rock Golem here. I'm not sure what he has teched. He could have gotten Immolation and then tried to stand right in between all of these units here and then activate it. By turning on Immolation, you can see that he's dealing damage to multiple units at the same time and being, pretty efficient about it. Gonna go ahead and turn it off as you see the Archer here cleaning up the rest of these units, making sure that the Archer gets the last hit. Otherwise, experience will be lost. All right, more damage still racking up. There is a quick reveal there by the Death Knight. Death Knight did pick up a crystal ball. That reveal in itself also, beautiful death coil onto the Wisp before it could get a detonation to deny this bit of creep. Now, are we going to see a summoning of a Ziggurat? We are. The Ziggurat, however, going to take a couple of auto attacks there and then, be resummoned again. The Acolyte just wants to summon up this Ziggurat here. While it is getting constructed, it does not have any armor, as we see an Immolation surround onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is Immolation and is also Cloak of Shadows. At the same time, Cloak of Shadows and Immolation being used here. But remember, the Death Knight has a crystal ball. This is all buying time at this point and stage in the game as we wait for that crystal ball to, that cooldown to come to an end. Archer now showing up to the party as well, trying to pull or aggro away some of the units. New skeletal minions are now making their way back over. And, there's the reveal. But where did the reveal happen? All right, he used a reveal, but I'm not quite sure what exactly or where exactly he revealed, as the Demon Hunter is still just standing there. All right, now that the Ziggurat is up, he can go ahead and try and upgrade it to a Nerubian Tower. He is a bit low on lumber since he spent a little bit more time. And beautiful move by Happy, getting in that skeletal minion right in between to prevent that Acolyte from falling. Acolyte is standing on Blight. While on Blight, that Acolyte regenerates hit points at an abnormally fast rate. You can see right there, I believe it's about 2 hit points. Wow, sounded like someone was upstairs when I'm home alone. All right, that's always a bit scary. It seems like some horror movie right now just happening in my head. Okay, I got a good line of sight upstairs. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. Demon Hunter able to finish off that Acolyte here. Death Knight now looking to back away. Demon Hunter down to 79 hit points. Nerubian Tower nearly completed. Meanwhile, ghouls are just wandering around the map here. Death Knight still sitting only at level 2 as the Death Knight now picks up another Rod of Necromancy. We can see a Tree of Life is being established by Moon. We all know Moon as a player who really enjoys setting up expansions. No big surprises here as he tries to set up that Tree of Life. For all of you, all of those eagle-eyed viewers or curious viewers, for some reason the overlay is not working. I may need to try and get another version of the overlay. Wasn't sure if it was a one-time thing, but couldn't get it working, so I will try again later. Coming back down to the south side here, Ancient of War, well, tanking a little bit of damage while the Archers and Forest Troll Berserker are going to finish off that last knoll right there. Demon Hunter is now, well, getting closer to level 3, just a little bit shy, as we see a Ghoul getting taken out by creeps. Now, Happy has some ground to make up here. He is setting, or he is able to set up an expansion at some point. He hasn't done so yet, though, so I am curious what his long-term goal and plan is. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter off to the north here is going to be getting to level 3. There's a Nerubian tower. Demon Hunter runs on by and says, wait a second. There's nothing really here. I'm just wasting a little bit of time creeping away from my, creeping away from the rest of my army when he thought he could perhaps try and do a little bit of harassment on that haunted gold mine here. Halls of the Dead, Lich now halfway being trained, Slaughterhouse now getting added in as well. We should be looking at a tech to tier 3 as the Demon Hunter dives on in and only, well, is blocked by a Ghoul. All right, more damage going to get racked up here. There is a potential surround, and now there is a Cloak of Shadows usage. Staff of Teleportation there. That reveal would have lasted too long. Staff of Teleportation needed to head back home. Now, we can see Happy looking to set up expansions further to the south as well. Skeletal minions strategically placed around the map to see if an expansion is being placed down anywhere. I don't know if Happy scouted out this location, but the skeletal minion did back away. Meanwhile, Lich could get some auto attacks onto that Wisp there. Wisp actually able to head back off to the north as the armies are engaging in the center. There's a Frost Nova there. Mana burn, 100-point mana burn. Lich down to 100 mana already as the Demon Hunter now trying to head off to the north, perhaps come in with a bit more harassment. We should be looking at an Obsidian statue once another Ziggurat is completed. There's that second Ziggurat at the expansion there by Happy as the Demon Hunter are going to check the expansion here on the top right. With that Boots of Speed, able to close out that distance a little bit more. Lich may try to go for a Frost Nova. Nope, just gets an auto attack there as the Demon Hunter still backing away. Meanwhile, Moon has trained up a panda from the tavern and still doing a bit of creeping. We can see an Ancient of War off to the side here as the Tree of Life did in fact finish and now going to try and take that 6 o'clock expansion location. Demon Hunter using that Cloak of Shadows very effectively. And I remember some players saying using Cloak of Shadows is not going to have that big of an effect during the day, but that is just not the case. Moon, being forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal, will be teleporting away and heading back out. Meanwhile, the Tree of Life absorbing quite a bit of damage as Dryads are now joining out on the battlefield. Dryads very effective as they are strong range units that can slow down incoming melee units and also create a little bit of distance for themselves if they get chased. The downside for them is that we are going to be looking at Crypt Fiends perhaps, or a transition into Crypt Fiends, and Crypt Fiends do eat through those units alive. All right, Happy looking to shut down this Ancient of War. Ancient of War down to 257 hit points already. Majority of the damage being done by the creeps here as the Demon Hunter comes across. No mana burn, but both sides are still fighting their way through. Lich, there's that mana burn there, down to 11 mana. Demon Hunter still fighting pretty strongly as the Lich, well, trying to use a little bit of that auto attack anyways. Panda gets up to level 3 now, so dual level 3 heroes for Moon, and a Breath of Fire blowing over a little bit of damage as the Ancient of War does in fact get taken out. All right, Obsidian statues, gargoyles, and heroes coming in from Happy. Meanwhile, Moon with a level 2 panda, most likely level 2 Breath of Fire and Drunken Haze, Dryads, and Archers now making their way to the top right. Still looking at some, some plays nonetheless here, as we're going to be looking at the Null Warden now getting cleaned up as well. Null Brute also going to get followed down as well. Well, nope, that doesn't work. Just there you go. Panda now heading back off to the north. Dryad's going to be poking their way every which way here, as we're looking at the Tomb of Relics going to get finished down. There is a Spirit Tower here, and the Spirit Tower does need to put pressure onto those Dryads. If the Spirit Tower is actually hitting the Forest Troll Berserkers, that's really not as much damage, as the Panda may try and come across, perhaps get another Breath of Fire across all of these, peasants, or all of these Acolytes. Acolytes able to head back here, Scroll of Town Portal inbound, as we are looking at the Demon Hunter taking in a big Death Coil Frost Nova. Frost Nova, Death Coil already landed, Frost Nova following it up, as the Demon Hunter does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Is he going to try to finish things off? There goes another Breath of Fire, but the Nerubian Tower very well protected, as the Dryads are now combating against those gargoyles. Both sides fighting every which way. Demon Hunter now trying to back away here, perhaps going to get a mana burn on the Death Knight. Death Knight, well, up to 75 mana, should be able to land a Death Coil onto that Demon Hunter if he tries to try and get rid of some of that mana. Who's going to go first? There's the mana burn for 87. Happy not on top of his game there, taking a bit more damage while not burning that scroll or dealing a little bit of damage with that Demon Hunter. Units are now trying to retreat back. Panda still has a bit of mana, could try and get off a Breath of Fire. We're going to see a Gargoyle getting taken down, and there's a Breath of Fire blowing things through again and again. All right, low hit point Gargoyle could get finished up here. Demon Hunter, Potion of Invulnerability, going to be able to stay alive here, as the Dryads should really be trying to focus down not the Death Knight, but some of all of these other Gargoyles that are in the air to rack up a bit more damage. There's a mana burn again, down to 41. Panda does not have enough mana, as the Death Knight has backed himself into a bit of a corner. Death Knight now still trying to get away. Demon Hunter could be in trouble, down to 65 hit points. Is he going to get taken down? Demon Hunter gets taken down. Death Knight gets taken down. Double hero kill all the way, as the Death Knight and Demon Hunter both fall. Now, Gargoyles are going after the Dryads, but Gargoyles, with their superior numbers, are actually seemingly winning out this battle. Meanwhile, the Brewmaster, even with the Talisman of Evasion, is not going to be able to survive here, and the Lich himself may be able to get up to level 3. Is the Lich going to get the experience? Yes, it does. The last attack, not by the towers, as Happy forces, I can't even say Happy forced the engagement. Moon forced an engagement at his opponent's expansion, didn't have Scrolls of Town Portals or a Scroll of Town Portal, and ended up paying a very heavy price. He ends up losing both heroes, didn't really shut down the expansion, and now, the Panda had to get resurrected at the tavern and will be getting up to level 4. Moon not going to make that same mistake again, getting that Scroll of Town Portal in order to, have an exit plan. Plan your exit like you plan your entrance, just in case things go bad. All right. I don't know if that's an analogy for life, a business interview, or whatnot, but just important words to stand by. Coming back around here, we are looking at Moon. As I said, loves the expansion and has set up a second Tree of Life, and beyond his starting now Tree of Ages, to perhaps set up an expansion here at the 3 o'clock location. If you ever try and play against Moon and you clear up an expansion, that doesn't mean that you've cleared out your opponent's expansion, because, Moon could easily have another one or two more behind it. We've seen Moon do some crazy things. Meanwhile, we are going to be going into these island expansions on the corner. Death Knight gonna perhaps try to finish off these red dragon whelps, and Happy actually expanding to the top left. Talking about secret bases, it is not going to be a secret Moon base. No Star War. Well, I had to throw in that Star War reference. No secret Moon base. Instead, it is going to be a secret Happy base here on the top left. Death Knight picks up a potion of divinity, potion of restoration, gives 500 hit points and 200 mana, essentially both a potion of greater healing and a potion of greater mana, I believe. somewhere in that range. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter and Panda combination both sitting at level 4. Brewmaster actually getting very close to level 5. Should pick up the Tome of Intelligence. Does pick it up. And a Brewmaster with north of 400 mana is relatively scary. Demon Hunter now going after this Ogre Mauler creep camp here, or excuse me, Forest Troll Warlord creep camp, that being the strongest unit there, as the Panda Staff of Preservations the Demon Hunter to give a little bit more experience to this Panda. Panda will get to level 5 off of this creep camp here. Item being left behind, not quite sure what it is, can't click on it. It is an Orb of Darkness. Oh, what a scary, scary item. An Orb of Darkness being left behind. A Demon Hunter going to be able to pick that up and perhaps create some skeletal minions of his own. Coming back around here, we're looking at the Ogre Warrior creep camp getting cleared out pretty quickly. If Happy wants to put on the illusion that he's trying to set up or that there's additional bases, he could try to set up or start haunting a gold mine here. That would be pretty easy for him to do. As we're looking at the Lich now sitting at level 4, Death Knight sitting at 4. We are at tier 3. No sign of a third hero as of yet. Or is that a Dark Ranger? Nope. No, that's a Dreadlord. All right, so we are going into a Dreadlord third. All right, Dreadlord third is really not that common overall, as we see the Gargoyles now trying to put pressure onto that Demon Hunter there. All right, did we see a sleep? Yes, we do see a sleep. That is a big, big sleep indeed. Death Coil, Frost Nova following it up, and the Demon Hunter forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away safely. Now, did the Death Knight use that potion of restoration? I do not believe so. I think Happy actually sold that item. And you may be thinking, why would you sell such an awesome item? That is a great consumable item. And that's the thing. At high level play, Moon would have clicked on the Death Knight and saw that there was a potion of restoration. Once you see that particular item, Moon would quickly realize, wait, a corner creep camp was cleared, so that's why he got rid of it. All right, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, Scroll of Healing coming back around. Brewmaster trying to retreat back here. Dryads trying to finish things off as the Death Knight forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. Not quite sure who came out on top here. 73 supply compared to 70. But Happy is running up on 3 bases. This is not something you see very often. Happy is often comfortable with 2. And sometimes even 1. And what is this? Moon setting up a secret moon base. Or a secret moon base here at the starting or the expansion location for Happy. Trying to set up an expansion where your opponent is often going to expand in the hopes that your opponent doesn't scout out that location. It's a lot of mind games here, and it only happens when you have a bit of history between you and your opponent. Otherwise, well, if you try it, well, your mileage may vary, so to speak. Repairs are underway on this entangled gold mine here. I'm trying to buy time as we see an inbound Scroll of Town Portal. Wisps end up taking quite a bit of damage, and, well, multiple Wisps are going to get taken down here. Both sides still fighting their way through. Scroll of Town Portal, are we going to see another Frost Nova taking down the remaining Wisps as the entangled gold mine trying to be re-established. Coming back through, Acolyte, hoping to haunt this gold mine here, sees that there is a Tree of Life under construction, and that will quickly be canceled. It feels like Happy is starting to build a stronger and stronger lead. He's sitting at the upper cusp of low upkeep, short of just trying to get higher upgrades or better items on your heroes. I can't imagine what Happy is going to be spending his gold on. He doesn't want to get to high upkeep, as that would essentially be taking away 21 gold a second because of taxes. Coming back through, Demon Hunter going to try and engage here. Gargoyles are in position. No Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, Staff of Preservation, followed by a Scroll of Town Portal in order to achieve the exit. Demon Hunter, Staff of Teleportation, Scroll of Town Portal is back home. Brewmaster still has plenty of mana, but hasn't had or found the opportunity to use it. We are looking at Moon now going for a third hero, the Goblin Tinker, Not sure if it's going to be perhaps pocket rockets or that pocket factory, as the Ogre Mauler will get taken down. Goblin Tinker, is it going to level up? Yes, he does. Gets to level 2 here, and now finishing off these Forest Troll Trappers and perhaps this Forest Troll High Priest as well. Expansion of Moon once more getting into a bit of duress here. Gargoyle is trying to retreat back. Scroll of Town Portal inbound does not find the targets as the units have already retreated back. New necropolis established by Happy here, trying to expand at that 10 o'clock location. Meanwhile, Happy's island expansion in the corner of the map, secretly mining with no inhibitions or no stopping at all. In comes the Death Knight, Dreadlord, and Lich. We may see a level 5, or we will definitely see a level 5 Death Knight. I'm not quite sure if we will see a level 5 Lich after this clearing. Death Knight, if he jumps into the Goblin Zeppelin, perhaps he will be, quote, far enough away to give that Lich experience, but that just didn't happen there. All right, Goblin Zeppelin picking up some units, ready to drop them down again, as the Haunted Gold Mine is about a quarter of the way done. Panda already making a move across the map here with that Boots of Speed, able to get to this expansion location and perhaps at least put a bit of pressure on it. There's a Breath of Fire, but that's not really going to be lasting damage here as Moon tries to get to level 3 on this Goblin Tinker. A little bit of a purge there, not going to be much to write home about, as we're looking at the Dreadlord getting halfway to level 3 as well. Lich, well, some big damage there, plus 23 damage between the auto attacks, True Shot, Aura, Mantle of Intelligence here, as damage is racking up. The Tree of Life now getting cleaned up here. Scroll of Town Portal trying to back away. Panda unable to get the Drunken Haze Breath of Fire on those retreating gargoyles, and Happy is going to win. It looks like he's winning this game economically. This is not normally Happy's MO against Moon. Normally, he out-micros, outlast, and outplays his opponent. Yes, Happy is outplaying Moon right now, but it isn't on the micro battlefield as much as it is the macro battlefield. If you had to give me a choice who I think would have won in this matchup, or who's the favorite, I would have said Moon, because he likes to establish bases. But that is just simply not the case here, as we're looking at 3 bases to 1 in favor of Happy. A 4th base about to be established here. Acolytes are in the Goblin Zeppelin. They could be dropped off over there here or in a moment, as the Dryads are now prancing their way over to this gold mine. All right, this gold mine, it looks like it will not get set up properly. The Zeppelin does need to drop off a couple of Acolytes at this Haunted Gold Mine here, as we see a Ziggurat also setting up as well. Nope, Happy opting to just train up additional Acolytes and saturate that way. Currently sitting at 2 gold mines, soon will be 3, going up against 1 gold mine. Moon has about 4,900 gold left here. What is that? About 8 minutes? About 8 minutes of mining left. Tree of Eternity also has pivoted and shifted over to the expansion location, and the gargoyles are fully upgraded at 3-3. All right, this Tree of Eternity about to get taken down. I don't believe any additional upgrades are in store, and with that, it is going to be 2-2 Dryads going up against 3-3 gargoyles. Goblin Zeppelins heading around as well. It feels like Happy isn't even bothering to check those corner expansions to see if the same play is being done by Moon. Meanwhile, Death Knight, we see a Staff of Silence. We have a Scroll of Restoration. That item was perhaps just too good to pass up here, as both sides are fighting. We are looking at the Dreadlord. Dreadlord gets a sleep off onto the Demon Hunter. No mana burn. Lich is not going to be able to blast away anywhere there, as we see a bunch of stuns there. All right, Scroll of Town Portal now being used. Lich now sitting at level 5. Damage could rack up onto the Brewmaster. No, not going to be enough, but the Goblin Tinker now gets to level 3. Demon Hunter still staying at level 4. Staff of Preservation, well, retreats the Panda back to the Tree of Life, the highest tier tree, which is rather far away from all of these Moonwells. Staff of Preservation not going to be as wonderful of a trip home as it was in the past, as the Goblin Tinker now heading to the top right-hand side of the map, perhaps expecting that there is an expansion here. He's going to spot the blight and, well, try an elevator over some of these units. And this is the problem with a go wide army. It takes quite a bit of trips with this Goblin Zeppelin to get your army into position. All right, Happy still with that Scroll of Restoration, also has an additional Scroll of Town Portal if necessary to try and save. All right, we are looking at 3 bases to 3. Demon Hunter now diving on in. This expansion still has plenty of mining to go. Dryad's going to get into position here. And, well, this expansion will fall. However, Moon is going to be going from 1 expansion to 0, while Happy is going from 3 to 2. Happy's economic game infinitely better than his opponent. As we're looking at the Tree of Life, is going to get taken down. Yes, it will. No carry-on swarm. Lich going to go ahead and back away there. All right, in comes an engagement. Gargoyle is now trying to fight. We see that there is no Nerubian tower here. Demon Hunter doesn't have a way out. No way out, no way out, no way out. If you take down this Goblin Zeppelin, there is no way to retreat or get these units back out of this top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, well, it's going to be a little bit of time to even slowly elevator these units out of this position. Demon Hunter takes a Frost Nova Death Coil, both the level 3 variety, and, well, that is just not looking good at all. Lich going to get in another Frost Nova there. Units getting picked up but drop back down, and, well, perhaps the Dreadlord can try and finish things off. There's a Scroll of Restoration. A little bit of stun from the rockets there, as the Panda could be in trouble. The Panda gets picked up, drop back down, could try and use a Scroll of Healing to try and finish or save some of these Dryads, as where there's some more stuns coming back across here. Dryad after Dryad is falling, or Dryad and Gargoyles are falling as they're exchanging blows. Demon Hunter gets, Death Knight gets a Death Coil on the Brewmaster, sending it to the afterlife. I was going to say it's death, but that's a lot of death in one sentence. Overall, Happy winning the resource score here and mined significantly more gold. I know if you look at the overview, it doesn't seem that big of a difference, but look at the difference in lumber harvested. That's why the overall scores seem closer than they really were, when it was really about a 6,000 gold mined difference. Beautifully played there. Meanwhile, Happy getting up those higher level heroes, and, well, Moon really didn't have his footing once he forced the engagement at Happy's, what I'll call 2 or 1 o'clock expansion. No Scroll of Town Portal to get away. Tried to run in, didn't shut down enough acolytes, and Happy was just able to translate that small advantage into a bigger one and continue to let it grow. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.